Reality. The boy's mother was dead, and it was the end of his world. There was no dramatic moment, no final goodbye that made sense, just silence, and something inside him breaking beyond repair. As time passed, the boy was lost in thought. He reflected on his utterly tragic reality. The world around him no longer felt real. It felt distant, like something he was watching from the outside. He followed his train of thought and finally reached a conclusion. Step by step, the boy moved forward, walking endlessly, moving his feet forward, again and again. There was no destination, no goal, just movement, because stopping meant thinking, and thinking meant remembering. One day, the boy discovered a place to sleep, an abandoned bus, a small shelter in a broken world. But even sleep wasn't safe. Unstoppable violence and irrevocable losses turned the nights into a living hell for the boy. Whenever he laid his head to sleep, the horrific events replayed over and over again. The screams, the chaos, the things no child should ever witness. Then one morning, the boy met a girl. She didn't look special. She didn't say anything. But somehow, everything changed. The two watched each other in silence for a while. Only a few seconds had passed, but it felt like time had stopped. In a world that never stopped moving, this moment stood still. They both sat there without a word, thinking the same thing. We've been through the same experiences and are living similar lives. No introductions, no explanations, just understanding, a silent agreement that they were the same. And then, without saying anything, the boy grabbed the girl's hand and ran. Not because he knew where to go, but because standing still felt wrong. The two kept running, the wind rushing past them, as if they were trying to outrun the world itself. The boy suddenly thought, why has the world turned out this way? There was no answer. There never was. But for some reason, he tightened his grip on her hand and kept running with all his might. Eventually, they stopped. For minutes, the two sat there silently, looking at each other, breathing heavily, saying nothing. But in that silence, something formed. From that day on, the two went on a journey together, not because they chose to, but because they had no one else. Earth is round, and it holds on to us so that we don't fly out into space. Even in a broken world, there were still rules holding everything together. And maybe that meant something. As long as we continue, we'll be able to keep moving forward. That thought that it became the only thing keeping them going. But that wasn't the case for the girl, because something was wrong. They weren't alone. There was someone else, a man, watching them, following them, silent, but always there. He's following us. The air grew heavier. Every step felt watched. We won't be able to outrun him in the plains. There was nowhere to hide, no buildings, no cover, just open land and nowhere to escape. Let's just hope he doesn't hurt us. Hope. It was all they had left. I hope he's a nice man. But hope doesn't change reality. The boy couldn't shake off the fear and anxiety that filled his heart. Something about the man felt wrong. Not just dangerous, but unpredictable. So the boy made a plan. Don't take anything out of your bag tonight. Every movement mattered. Every sound could give them away. Let's run away as soon as he falls asleep. It was their only chance. Pretend that you're sleeping, okay? The girl nodded. They didn't need more words. Things were going smoothly, as planned. The night was quiet. The man was still. Everything was perfect. And then it failed. We were just unlucky last night. The boy forced himself to stay calm. He couldn't afford to panic. We'll be able to escape tonight. Even if he didn't believe it, he had to say it. How are we going to eat today without him noticing? Hunger clawed at them. Thirst burned in their throats. The escape plan failed once again. Again and again, they tried. And every time, they failed. If you feel exhausted, you have to tell me right away, all right? The boy's voice was steady. But inside, he was breaking. Still, he refused to give up. No human being can go on without sleeping forever. That was the key. That was their chance. In just a few days, there will be a chance for us to escape. He held on to that idea, like it was the only thing keeping them alive. The problem is that we're running out of water. Reality always caught up. We must find some water. Survival came first. and we'll worry about hiding it from him later. One problem at a time. That's how they kept going. And so, once again, they walked. Two children, in a world that had already ended, holding on to nothing except each other. The world is quiet, too quiet. Chomp, chomp. The sound echoes in the darkness. Something eating, something desperate. Belch. A pause, heavy and unsettling. That's good news for us. All we have to do is wait. We'll get a chance to flee in a few days. Hope hangs by a thread, fragile and uncertain. The boy woke up in the middle of the night, pretending that he was waiting for a chance to escape. But something about it felt off, and that small act made everything more tense. Sleep never came. In just a few days, the words repeat over and over like a promise that might not be kept. He's relentless. The air grows heavier. Let's go. A disturbing sound breaks through the silence, raw and unnatural, getting closer. And then everything gives in. The man finally collapsed, exhaustion taking over as fear is pushed aside, even if only for a moment. But the real danger isn't gone. It lingers in the thoughts. Can't we let him stay with us as long as we're near the stream? We may not have to worry about water, but can you imagine what will happen if we fail to find something to eat? If he doesn't eat for days, he may attack us instead. Plus, even if we find food, it'll be unlikely for us to find enough food for all three of us, and we'll have to compete with him to eat. This is the only choice for us and him. The same thoughts circle back again and again. Each time it feels heavier, like the answer is already known, but no one wants to accept it. Just like how any other boys would react, the girl's tears break through everything, shattering resolve and weakening hesitation, making the choice even harder. But deep down, something still feels wrong. The boy was displeased about having the strange man as their traveling companion. Num, num, the chewing continues, slow, repetitive, unsettling, a constant reminder that survival isn't just about escaping danger. It's about deciding who gets to stay and who doesn't.